You mentioned in there the issues with, I think you said the classic people team inbox, right? With all the
Yeah.
emails coming in and asking to do things. So one of the things that I think we still get quite surprised about in many organizations where we see those volumes coming in is that there's a route to kind of minimize some of that, which is about self-service,
Yeah.
right? And the whole area of employee self-service, which I still find remarkable that people could implement a system like SuccessFactors, yet not really push the self-service element. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think, like you say, we see this quite a bit because I think the idea of self-service can feel like an enormous change for the organization, but the benefits are enormous. Just, that ability for employees to have greater visibility and control over their own data, and for managers to be able to engage, whether it's trigger processes or engage in people processes. It brings about huge efficiencies, but also much greater transparency. And through that transparency, you actually get more accurate data because people can easily point out where that data isn't accurate. So it was a really interesting one here because, particularly when you think about it, they were utilizing self-service for things like holiday and managing absence. But more broadly than that, the rest was done through an HR inbox rather than that self-service functionality. And I think when we spoke to the HR team and wider business, I think part of this had come into, that successful embedding of SuccessFactors into the organization's ways of working. So we were told that people didn't really understand the benefits of the system, that there was limited capability in the organization to use SuccessFactors, but also that limited kind of confidence. But I think it shows you that, when you implement an HR system, or when you're going to make any changes to a system, that change management element is absolutely kind of critical. So if you're going to put something like self-service in, people need to understand why they're being asked to work in a different way and the benefits of going through self-service rather than using an HR inbox. It needs to be really made as easy as possible for people, or there needs to be a really clear plan to build that capability and confidence in the business. But also, I think the element you really saw in the client here is that the change in behavior then needs to be reinforced. So that's both, from the top of the organization of like, this is the way we are going to work, but also from the HR team, so that when people are emailing that HR inbox, HR actually really need to play a role in supporting people to adopt different ways of working. And sometimes that means pushing back on the business to utilize self-service rather than coming through that kind of route that was actually seen as an easier route, but creates a lot of work in the background that maybe the organization doesn't see.